Welcome to Christian Warrior Training. My name is Keith. In this episode, we are going to talk about a stabbing that happened in a church last Sunday at a church in Alexandria, Virginia. Now, before we get into it, hit subscribe, like, follow, leave a comment. The algorithm likes it. It helps spread our word that people need to hear. Also, sign up for our newsletter at christianwarriortraining.com. Over there, you are going to find all sorts of tips, tricks for your church security team. If you're not a believer, still head over there. We have lots of tips and tricks. If you're a concealed carrier, what have you, it helps everybody. It's all free. Lastly, we have free training for church security teams. If you're not a believer, totally okay. Go over there. It's good for concealed carriers, for everybody. It is all free. Head on over there. All right, this incident, let's go ahead and get into it. There is not a lot that we know about, but we want to get the information out to you. Last Sunday afternoon, this is recorded on Wednesday in the morning, there was a stabbing at Apostolic Church International Ministry in Alexandria, Virginia. The APD, Alexandria Police Department, received a call about 4:25 p.m. that there was a stabbing inside of the church. Now, when officers responded, they found a 38-year-old male victim at the scene who had passed away from multiple stab wounds. The suspect was a 35-year-old man who fled the scene but was apprehended at gunpoint by APD at 4:56. So they caught this guy within about a half an hour, and that was about 1 mile away from the original stabbing scene. Now, the church and APD haven't released any more information than that. Let's break down what your church can do to make sure this doesn't happen and how you can handle an incident better like this. Number one, you got to have a press information officer at your church, somebody that you can designate to speak for the church, and you can't say no comment. Okay, you're going to have to feed the beast. The beast is the news-consuming public. I mean, you're here wanting to know more information. You're going to have to do some damage control for your church, and you're going to have to put out some information, even if it mimics what the police have said. Now, make sure that you talk to the police to make sure what you can and cannot release, just to make sure that you don't ruin the investigation. Second up, everything starts in the parking lot. Make sure that if you don't have enough church security people, make sure they are in the parking lot. You can see the problems start over there. If something happens inside, church members can alert you and you can come back in. Now, we don't know how this evolved into the church, but I can tell you it probably just didn't happen from some guy shanking another guy in the church. Usually this is going to happen through some beef. There's going to be some interaction beforehand. If you see this, you need to go intercede and separate the parties before it gets amped up. I'm not saying this wasn't done there. We don't know. I'm just giving you my best advice. Now, the best thing that you can do is go through, I have free training on de-escalation. Go head over to courses.christianwarriortraining.com and go learn how to de-escalate situations just like this. You're going to go ahead and use those skills that you learned in training and that you're going to practice through reality-based training, or basically role-play training, that you're going to do in addition to your normal duties to make sure that you're skilled at breaking this up. Now, my church, we have training 4 hours on a Saturday every month. We all get together, and most of it is reality-based training, that scenario role play kind of training where you're acting it out. And what I found is that our team has gotten much better over time as they practice conflict resolution, de-escalation, splitting people up. The best thing I like doing when people are in a beef in church is I walk up to them, I'm like, we're in church and you guys are arguing. How about we come outside? Almost nobody argue. Well, honestly, I haven't had anybody argue with me saying, no, I want to stay here and keep yelling and creating a scene in the middle of God's house. As everybody leaves, what I like doing is saying, hey, why don't you go over there and I'll meet you outside. Why don't you go over there to the other side and I'll meet you over there, and you split them up. Problem solved. You're still going to call the police at the same time to let them deal with it because they are the professionals and we want to make sure they take care of it. And you split them all up. And you just tell them, hey, we're going to have the police come. And if they want to leave, don't stop them. Let them leave. That takes care of your problem. I'm not saying that this is what could have happened in this incident. We just don't have enough information. But those are some things that you can do to take care of these issues in your church. I hope this helps. Do me a favor, leave a comment, subscribe, give the algorithm some love, leave that comment, and then subscribe over at christianwarriortraining.com. And remember your ABCs, always be caring.